The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score was 2-4 with just one inning left to play. And when Cooney flied to center and Burroughs did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go, leaving near the rest, with the hope that springs eternal within the human breast. For they thought if only Casey could get a whack at that. Why, they'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, and likewise so did Blake. The former was a puddin' and the latter was a fake. So on that sad and multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's coming to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single to the wonderment of all, and the much despised Blake, he tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and they saw what had occurred, there was Blake is safe at second, and Flynn a hug in third. Then from the joyous multitude went up a mighty yell. It rattled in the hillside, it echoed in the dale. It resounded on the mountainside, it echoed across the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him when he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. And when the rival pitcher ground that ball into his hip, defiance glanced in Casey's eye. A sneer curled Casey's lip. And then the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him! Kill the umpire!" shouted someone in the stand. And it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage showed. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire yelled, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and the echo answered, "Fraud!" But when scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed, they saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. They knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in his favored land, the sun is shining bright. A band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.